You may be wondering, how do I play Morning Moon Village? Can farming virtual crops really create income for me? Well, worry no more. Today, Bitkub Academy will take you through a complete tutorial on the Bitkub chain-based game, Morning Moon Village. The first thing you'll want to know is that Morning Moon Village is a yield farming DeFi-based game settled on the Bitkub chain blockchain network. Morning Moon Village has a concept surrounding the area of allowing players to deposit funds to plant and harvest crops to create real income, much like any other yield farming platform. And to deposit said funds, you'll need a cryptocurrency wallet. Morning Moon Village offers two cryptocurrency wallet options, the first being Bitkub Next and the second being MetaMask. For MetaMask users, you'll need to configure your network and select Bitkub Chain. We'll provide a link for MetaMask users to configure your network to the Bitkub Chain network. Now, after successfully connecting your cryptocurrency wallet, you can go ahead and create your character. Now, your in-game character has a couple of options in terms of appearances. First off, you can go ahead and select whether or not you want your character to be a male or female. We'll go with spiky. Hair color. You know what? Let's make it fun. We'll make it white. Face. Oh my gosh, you can actually select how your eyes are gonna look like. Quite large eyes myself. I'll select the standard one because I like to actually keep a default character-wise vibe to the game. Between being a villager and a worker, myself being a villager would look great on me. My character name, you know what? How about we set the character name as Bitkub Academy. Plug in right there. From this point onward, I'll create my character right away by pressing OK. After actually seeing that Bitkub Academy can't be used as a nickname for my character, there we go. We've got our character right there. Now that you can see that the game's actually starting to load, wow! Right away you can see that the graphics are a lot better than expected. I mean, you can see that leaves are falling. I myself, my character myself is actually standing right in the middle of the village zone, one of the two zones offered in the game. You can see that there's a town hall right there and a couple of, oh my gosh, look at my character. He's actually practically waddling around like a little penguin. Now, the first thing that you actually see while walking around the village zone is that you can see that there are a couple of coops, the town hall, but what I actually personally focused on was that right here, the farm option, because practically Morning Moon Village actually focuses on farming. Now actually farming offers two options, the first being stems and the second being seeds. We'll focus on seeds first. Seeds being the first variant that we're going to look into. First thing you actually want to know is that seeds do rot within the matter of 48 hours, which means that you'll have to really look into them. You have to, after adventuring and going out, you have to come back and look at them whether or not they've gotten rotten yet. While stems do not rot and do not actually have a, I guess, harvesting period, but they do cost actual money. Now, in reference to the actual funds that will be needed, Morning Moon Village actually facilitates two options that users can use when investing. The first being K-Cup, the second being KUSDT. Now, when you deposit K-Cup and transfer them, you'll receive LK-Cup. While when you deposit KUSDT, you'll receive LKUSDT for stems. The second variation between the two is that they require different farm types. That's a great feature actually, because if you play any other sandbox game, you'd actually know that one type of farm actually handles all types of crops. I love how this feature is actually providing the game. Now actually, one thing that I'd like to mention is that the Bitkub chain situated game, Morning Moon Village, is actually based on a blockchain network, meaning that any transaction is actually sent through the blockchain network. So any inaction, any confirmation, any type of pressing the word OK is actually transferring transactions onto the Bitkub chain blockchain network. And by doing so, you'd actually have to require certain gas fees in certain transactions using the cup or the Bitkub coin as gas fees. Now, actually, to go into the wild zone, you'd have to walk through this teleportation warp, which would require one lodestone. For any player that's new to the game, I'd actually have to say that lodestones are automatically generated, wherein you start off with 10 and you can have a maximum of 30. They regenerate every 2 hours, meaning that every 2 hours that you play, they're gonna regenerate one by one. so that if you use one right now, you have to wait 2 more hours before you can have that specific one come back to you. Before entering to the wild zone, actually, I'd really like to point out, it's not dangerous or anything, but there are certain traps that you have to look for. I'm not sure if I'm gonna encounter anything though, but it's a risk I'm gonna have to take. Enter, right there. I'm sending a transaction onto the, I'm gonna have to send a transaction onto the Bitkub chain blockchain network to confirm that I'm actually gonna enter the wild zone while also depositing 1 lodestone for my inventory. And there we go. Freezing NFTs, we're actually entering right now. This is actually really entertaining. I've heard a lot of things about the wild zone. I can't wait because the wild zone actually has a lot of resources. That's the main key. If anyone's played any other sandbox game, you'd know that entering any wild zone or any resourceful, you know that entering any resourceful area, you'd have to find certain, natural resources that can be used to craft, can be used as consumable items, excuse me. Now, right off, you know what? You can see right here, what's that? Is that something I can pick up? Oh my gosh. Wait, right off you can see that my energy levels is actually depleted by 4. So that's a note to take right there. One movement, except from walking of course, requires 4 energy. And previously I actually had 250 units of energy. Now I only have 100 units. Okay, first off, you can see right over here, there's 3 pieces of wood I'd have to actually chop down. I got my wow, I can actually break rocks too, so that cost me 4 energy right there. But I believe that actually, after a certain point in time, after collecting an adequate amount of resources and as well as funds, you can use your funds to upgrade your resources as well as buy consumable items, which will help you, deplete your energy levels less and less. So instead of 4, you may have to, you may actually be depleting them by 1 or 2, which is ideal for someone that's an adventurer like myself. I love adventuring. But you know what? First off, I can actually tell you that if you go into your backpack and you go into your resources, you can see that every piece of resources gathered in the wild zone actually has this little hourglass symbol on the top left corner, indicating that you'd have to go back to the village zone. You have to go back home before these resources are sent to the Bitkub chain blockchain network to confirm that you actually made it back successfully, further returning them to your backpack. Meaning that you'd actually have to get home before you actually acquire any of your resources, which is a great addition to the game. Because normally you'd have to actually, you don't have to really be concerned about these things. What did I get? I got a banana. It's purple. And it's not appearing in my resources. Consumable. Oh, it's a consumable. It's rare. Oh my gosh. Right off the bat, I've got something rare. You know what? I am actually really happy I got that because I was scared I wasn't gonna find anything good. As someone who's only played for the first time, this is a true, honest first impression of the game. So if I'm walking around real weird, I'm terribly sorry. But the first thing that I'm seeing is that I'm not seeing any traps right away, but I am seeing this portal. I wonder what this portal does. You know what? Let's see if I can walk further back into the wild zone. Oh, I don't have to use anything. I don't have to use my lodestone actually, because normally when you have to use a lodestone, you have to confirm that transaction. Oh, it's a broken bridge. What does that mean? There's a lot of wood right here. It might indicate that there may be an additional zone for players to come into to practically add, to provide wood to rebuild the bridge, which is a really interesting feature. One thing I need to mention is that the wild zone has a map of its own, meaning that every player has their own specific particular map, and it randomly generates itself. Every player has a randomly generated map, so meaning that your map will not be similar or even close to your friends. You may have to encounter a certain trap. Trees will be generated in a different location practically. So like myself, when I'm playing like this, you'll have a different map. Now, with myself wanting to enter the village zone, I'd have to send a transaction confirmation onto the Bitkub Chain blockchain network. Now, exiting the wild zone and returning to the village means that the player cannot return to the wild zone when returning back to the village. I can't come back to this specific map. The map will be re-rendered again, to my understanding. Checking in my inventory. There we go, the hourglass symbol is gone. There we go, the hourglass symbol is gone. I've successfully gathered 12 wood, 4 pieces of stone, and 4 pieces of grass, all of which is used in crafting. Now with these resources, I can actually sell them for seeds. But what I actually want to show you guys is the actual manual mechanic of planting my own seed farm, which I'd have to first go to the farm option on the bottom right corner of my screen. Going right there, you can see the little chicken always dancing. I love that chicken. Okay, now throughout this video, we'll actually be using tomatoes. Myself personally, not liking tomatoes in real life, actually, I gotta tell you that. But in Morning Moon Village, I love tomatoes right away. Okay, building this will actually require myself to select a plot. Oh my gosh. Where do you guys think I should plot? You know what? I'll plant it right here in the middle. Is that the middle? Bam. Now, the process function is required to be approved, meaning that I'll actually have to reconfirm the transaction, sending it to the blockchain network. So right off, I'll confirm that transaction, building my first farm right there. Oh my gosh, I can actually walk around. You can see that farm's being built, and you see that the transaction's being confirmed right now. It's being validated. You can see that the chicken's actually walking around. So actually, we'll leave that be for now. Oh. Right off, you'll see that my tomato farm is actually ready to be planted. But what I need is seeds, obviously. I can click and see that the APY actually is displaying with $0.78 per seed per year. That's actually a great return, actually. You know what? Wow, look at the liquidity, actually. It's actually within 1 week of the launch date right now. And having seen that liquidity, that actually impresses me a lot. But I'm not going to get distracted. I need to get my seeds. Now, to get seeds, I'd actually have to head to Uncle Jack. Look at myself waddle. Look at myself waddle right there. That's actually really cute. You know what? Uncle Jack, hi there. Okay. He's actually selling tomato seeds right there. There we go. What he needs is, I believe that's wood. I think we have wood. We have 12. There we go. It says right here, 4 stone, 12 wood that we have. But we can't exactly get anything else. So you know what? We're practically locked in to get tomato seeds. It's a match in heaven. We'll get 1 of them right off. Okay. So there we go. My address right there, my public address, shown right there, with Uncle Jack being the receiver, I guess, and having the process about to be confirmed and validated on their blockchain network. And bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Now I can actually go ahead and plant them. Well, being that I got only 1 seed. There we go. I can now proudly press plant and the number 1 and confirm my transaction. There we go. I see the little, let's go, little buddy. Bam. And ta-da, there we go. We have our first seeds planted. You know what? I feel immensely proud of myself. But still, it was relatively easy. But still, I feel really proud of myself for planting my first seeds in Morning Moon Village, the first yield farming game on Bitkub on Bitkub Chain. You know what? A lot of Bitkub in this video. I'm getting a lot of confusion, but what I'm really not confused about is the amount of seeds. I have only 1 seed planted. You know what? I'm actually really proud of the 1 tomato seed that I planted. So never mind. I'm actually really proud. I'm looking forward to selling them within the next 24 to 47 hours, I guess. I'll look into this myself. I will harvest them right here. You can press this right here. I'm not going to confirm this though, but you can confirm them and get them when they are fully grown. It will actually say 1 tomato after the 1 seed has been planted. So don't worry about that if it only says like 1, or if you don't see them growing out a bit. On this topic, on this premise right here, one thing that you should know is when your plants have actually grown, the animations right here will change. I can't really show them to you right now, but they'll actually grow out a bit. They'll kind of grow taller. You'll see them all red, much like the animation or the picture right here in this display. And if they're rotten, they'll actually be discolored or brown, meaning that you have to reset the whole thing and remove the entire farm as it is. And you have to plant them, go through the whole process again. So be very vigilant of whether or not they're rotten or not. Okay, within the 24 to 47 hour span, relatively only 47 to 48 hours for myself. So I think we'll actually move on to the stems. Now, of course, for players who actually want higher returns, they actually have the option of planting stems. Now, stems actually are like, real life stems. So if you picture a tomato stem, you can picture a vine with a lot of tomatoes on the sides of it, where if you pick out the tomatoes, the stems actually just stay there pretty much. Meaning that you can continue to harvest said tomatoes without having to replant your stems. The first thing you'll actually want to do is you actually want to deposit your funds into the Morning Moon Village platform, where you'll actually have to access the shop option right here. Throughout the video, we'll actually be using the cup or K-cup option paired with Lumi right here. I myself have actually deposited 3 cup right here in advance, so actually I'll place 3 right there. Oh, wow, I can get 6 Lumi. There we go. And confirm to send that transaction right into the blockchain network. And look at my chicken run. Look at him. Look at him. Since it's gone through, I'm actually going to head to Kyle. Kyle being the person who actually sells them. I actually want to study in advance, so that's great to know. When they are full grown, I'll come back to Kyle. Now that I actually know where I have to, where I can sell my tomatoes and my crops, pretty much, I can go back to my farm, and I can actually go ahead and chop once again, but this time select stems, and bam. Now that I actually have my K-cup here with the balance of right there, in addition to a bit of the remaining left from the previous transfer, you'll see that I have 3.07 pretty much in K-cup, which can then be transferred into LK cup, as in LK cup stems, which can differentiate itself from seeds, which do not have any currencies in front of them. So right there, if I want to have, you know what? I'll actually have all of my K-cup deposited for stems. Okay, so then I'll have K-cup stems in that amount. And bada bing, bada boom. Buy. Confirm, sending it to the blockchain network for confirmation. Now that these stems are in our inventory, we can go ahead and select farm to create a variation farm, not at the top, but at the bottom right here. Because, like I said, LK cup or LKUSDT actually indicates stems, which have an APY or APR differentiating from seeds, like quite a lot, I guess. You can see it's the APR right now is 94.68. So you know what? We'll go ahead and build it. You know what? We'll settle it right here, just so that it's a bit adjacent, but still a bit, across from the seed farm. And I'll approve, confirming it, sending the little chicken on his little run. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'll walk around for a bit, and there we go. Now that our farm is ready, we can go ahead and plant by selecting it and staking the amount of stems that we want. So we'll go ahead and plant all of which we have. I do not recommend doing this because this is only a tutorial. Therefore, the 2.29 stem is only a simulated amount, pretty much. 2.2. Stake. And send my chicken on a little run. Bam. Now, we can't actually sell them right away, but normally you would be able to harvest and withdraw, or harvest and stake. Now, for investors out there, you can see that there are 2 options provided right here: harvest and stake, and harvest and withdraw. This is in the case that your crops are actually ready enough to, at least at your satisfactory level, to come and harvest them. So you can go ahead and harvest and stake and select, how many stems you want to remove, or you can actually harvest and withdraw them completely. I can actually put in more, being 0.09, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Now that we've actually found Kyle, this is the fun part. After actually having your crops reaped, you can come to Kyle and then sell them as resources for 0.1 Lumi each. Now, Lumi, L-U-M-I, is the in-game native token, or really currency, as well as a governance token, which provides its holder with various, rights to provide proposals or systematic changes in a really sustainable way, in an also decentralized fashion as well, making Morning Moon Village totally sustainable as well as decentralized, allowing every player or every node to have their own say in how the system progresses. I will go back to my farm right here, and I will actually reap my crops right away. Can I sell that right now? Allow Kyle to spend your tomato tokens on your behalf. Sure, go ahead. I approve. Let's see how much Lumi we get from Kyle right here. You know, it really won't be that much because it's not one entire tomato. So, but just to see how fast or how long it actually gets approved. Confirm. Now we're selling Lumi and we're selling our items right now. You can see that the chicken's running once again. But now, oh, there we go. We've sold 0.03 tomato tokens. My tomatoes to Kyle, you actually see that there were some fees included. These fees are actually fees that are provided into the village's pool, which would actually have a great part in the system's progression later on. Now, with, let's say I were to have 10 Lumi, okay? I don't have that currently, but I could be able to walk up to Mr. Mayor right here and buy these gemstone boxes. You know what? 10 Lumi isn't even half of how much the basic gemstone box provides. Now let's see what the gemstone box actually gives you. It provides random rewards. Actually, that's really mystical. You know what? I really want one of these, man. This is the percentage that can be provided for users right there. You can get from, tomato seeds, consumable items, which actually yield more energy for you as you walk through the wild zone, as well as all of these items right here. You can even get steel axes, which could, I guess, upgrade your current axe. It would be an upgrade on your current axe to be used to to deplete less of your energy level. Look at all these things. Oh my gosh, the mini angel wings. Someone please if this is ever posted on Facebook, please provide a picture of the mini angel wings in the comments below, because I'd love to see the mini angel wings on the back of a character. Anyone who has this, please show it to us. We'll give you a like. See right here, here's a map. Some of these are actually locked right now, soon to be accessed. You know what? That's all for me. Man, there's a lot more to do, and this is only a basic tutorial. If you'd like a deeper, in-depth tutorial, a more complete one in various other aspects, of course, please do let us know what other aspects you want us, Bitkub Academy, to look into for Morning Moon Village. Now that we've got our stems sold, we've got our Lumi, even though it's not really shown right here, but there's a lot of decimal points, so I believe they're back here, right here. But now that we've got our seeds planted, I'll come back in my own free time, of course, to get them before they rot within the 47 to 48 hour span, and come back to sell them or harvest them first, of course. But this has actually been the complete tutorial for myself, Utah, from Bitkub Academy. I hope you guys had a great time, because I myself had a great time, and I'm looking forward to you guys liking, sharing, and of course commenting and sharing your experiences on this game, because Morning Moon Village is actually a really comprehensive game. I've only shown you a teensy-weensy bit so far, so really thank you to everyone that's been tuning in up to this point so far. Lastly, I'd like to say, think of Bitcoin, think of Bitkub.
Bitkub Academy จุดเริ่มต้นของนักลงทุนมือใหม่